Right, cheers for that. So, excellent. So you are back in the. You trudge back through the countryside, all the way back to Brindle, and it opens its gates for you. The 20 men you left behind, they walk over to their comrades, and they're basically asking, who, where is so and so. We're asking different names, and the guys are shaking their heads. No, sorry, all gone, all gone, and they're all hanging their heads, and they're all talking amongst themselves. And the one who you saw go absolutely crazy on the battlefield nods and walks over to you, Lochnia, and he,
Yeah.
he hands out he holds out his hand and says, I'm Bjorn.
Shake his hand. Hello, Bjorn. Not here.
He says, you saved my brother Alfred from being killed, I think. He came in on the corpse cart, but he's alive, thanks to you.
No.
Oh, you decided to give him a name after all.
You do what you have to do, you know.
He nods and says, tell you, yeah, well, the lads have elected me to speak for them, so I guess, we know we respect the Achaeans, they're good fighters, and they're good leaders as well. But you speak our language, if you know what I mean.
I do.
So, if we have anything tactical, we'll go to Nameless. If we have anything personal, we'll come to you.
Well, I'm not going to be your agony aunt, but yeah, sure, it's no worries.
I don't mean that. I mean, like, money for the dead, funerals, food, things like that.
Fine.
He holds up his hands and says, "Don't have to pay for it yourself. We'll just, whenever we need something, we'll come to you and you broach it with the others. See if there's something that you can do."
Yeah, no worries.
Right, cheers, thank you. He goes, "Come to the inn later. I'll buy you a pint."
Well,
Several.
that's my language.
Yeah. He's like, actually, if you're not doing anything now, he looks over his shoulder, goes, "Me and the boys, we're gonna go to the inn and blow off some steam. If you want to play some cards with us."
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Okay. So Felicity comes over and
Mhm.
and says, "So what happened? Like, there's only three of them. Well, four if you count the guy over there who's like, he's being dragged in by his mates. Like, yes. So there's only four left. You left with 10. What happened?"
Well, yes, they all died, unfortunately. We hit rather a large force. Somehow they almost seemed to know we were coming. I had no idea how.
She shrugs and goes, I bet you it was that Androcles. He's always reckless and running out in front of things, and you know.
That, yeah, possibly. Possibly. He certainly did shout at them a lot and hurl insults at them.
She shakes her head and says, "Well, I'm gonna go have a few beers. Take the edge off. You coming?"
Yeah, I've got a card game with the boys later on, but I'm sure we can have a swift pint and a quick chat amongst ourselves, between ourselves.
Cool. So you guys head off to the inn. Arden, Androcles, and Nameless, you're in. What would you like to do? Because Shanna's there, and she's milling around, but she's taking care of the wounded, and she's giving the report to the mayor, Hursk, as well.
I'm gonna walk around and I'll just help with any of the wounded too. I'll just help apply bandages where I can.
Mm-hmm.
It's a couple of the people. When our shield wall broke, they just kind of didn't really weren't really able to do much proper fighting after the shield wall broke. They just kind of just jumped at people. So I think Androcles is probably going to take a minute, have some of the men that are feeling a bit better, feeling a bit healthier, and just say, look, your shield wall is nice and all, but once it breaks, you need to learn how to fight some, in a way that's not just sitting there waiting for them to come to you. So he's going to take some time and teach the guys how to actually, well, in Androcles' mind, teach them how to actually fight.
Okay. Not gonna lie, they're not up for this right now.
Not the guys that we
Oh,
took with us, the
oh,
guys
right,
who were left behind.
right. I'm about to
Like
say,
like those guys who, the ones who aren't like,
like
you
you
know,
just, it's like right now. After you're dead, this is how you This is how you fight. So, okay.
yeah.
Cool. So yeah, they will definitely do that with you if you of a mind to teach them. Why don't you roll a d20 for me and add your might plus your guile.
Might and Guile.
Nice. So you spend you're going into the. Tell you what, let's do this all day. So all day you're going in for a few beers, you're coming out. We're still in mid-morning by this stage. You're coming out, you're drilling them, you're going in, few beers, chat, you come back out again for
Yeah.
breaks, and in the middle of the square you're drilling them and getting them ready. And a few of the
Yeah,
men from the actual town guard as well. About 20 of them join in and start, trying to outdo. And so you're setting up like mock battles between them and getting them ready and things like that. So there's a healthy rivalry developing, but also a lot of friendship. There's a few spats here and there, as men often do, handbags at 50 paces and all that. But it's generally quite jovial, and you're like, yeah, they're cementing into a good force, and they're looking at you, kind of like, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. So, Nameless, are you around for this, or are you like watching him all day, or are you just overseeing and generally?
I guess just sort of overseeing and making sure the men are okay, morale's still high,
Mhm.
kind of rallying spirits, that kind of thing.
Cool. So you being quite jovial, and you've been quite,
Hell yeah, I got to kill some people.
Cool.
And eat.
Yeah, Hendricles is feeling a bit better. He does want to blow off. Part of this is also he needs to blow off some steam because that fight, in his mind, ended a lot earlier than should have. He was kind of annoyed that they all started running before he got any real, before he really got into the mess.
that was Bjorn's fault
But
though.
yeah, well, he was so very threatening.
So, Arden, as you're tending to the wounds of people, Rhea is there also tending to the wounds, and Shen comes over, captain of the guard, and she says, "If you don't mind, could you come with me? To you."
All right.
She hauls you over to in front of the mayor's house, where several guards are standing around three chests, 4 chests, sorry, and she kicks one open, and it's just full with copper bits, and she says, 8,000, as I promised.
Wow. How did you get the mayor to part with this?
I've threatened to kill him.
That usually works.
Things are a bit sour between him and me right now, and this isn't. He's got more than this stashed away. I know he does, but we needed to pay you this, or you may have killed everyone here. So he acquiesced in the end. You're gonna need to put this somewhere. You can't just have it lying around. Which is why I've got the men here, but my men can't guard this all day. So
Yeah, we'll take care of that. But while we're here, and I'll lower my voice, you seem like a pretty honest person and like you want to protect the city. What I don't understand is how every town around Brindle seems to be on fire, even the keeps. But for some reason, Brindle hasn't been affected at all.
says, to be honest with you, this is my home. So if that's the case, I'm just thanking my lucky stars. I know what you're getting at. And she puts a hand on your shoulder and says, but if that keeps this place from being burnt to the ground, I look at that as a good thing, even if I have to deal with the occasional evil. Do you see what I'm saying?
Arden will kind of stiffen a bit and then go off to find Nameless.
Okay, cool. She says, I'll keep the men here till you get someone to take this off my hands.
Yep. On my way.
Okay, so Nameless, when you find Nameless, he's his arms are folded and he's looking over the men as they're going through another shield wall routine with Androcles. Androcles is using like the blunt side of his axe, like whack against shields to check that it's all sturdy, things like that. And outside of the inn, you see Lochnia standing with Flissy, and like sees that they're just like raising the glasses and just like laughing and just like toasting the shield walls as they're doing stuff. But Nameless has his back to you right now.
I'll tap or I'll try to get his attention.
And I'll just turn and greet her.
And I'll motion my head for him to come step off to the side so we're away from ears.
Is this one of your signals that you don't understand?
Mic closer to mouth again.
What?
Mic
Oh,
closer
mic
to mouth
far
again.
away.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was saying like, like I'd kind of like, when you jerk your head in a direction, like, come on, we're gonna go off this way, like that type of thing.
Okay, so
Just to step aside a
I'll
little
nod and move to one side with Arden.
Shen gave me the payment for all of us. I was thinking we should put it with the other stashed, by that tree.
Okay, are you wanting to do that now?
Maybe. She said she can't have her guards watch over the money for long.
Okay, that's fine. Then yeah, I'm happy
Also,
to do that.
Realistically, you can probably dig and carry the stuff a lot easier than I can.
Plus, I have a horse.
Yes, you do.
So,
Just
yes.
make sure you're not followed or anything. We don't want all of our money to be gone.
Okay. No.
Actually, maybe even you could bury the other bit in a separate area or in a separate hole or something.
Well, you want to split it up?
Because we already have like that stash buried.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I will go and do that now.
Should
I guess.
Should we keep enough for like a 1,000 each, just in case we have to buy stuff?
Yeah, we can split 1,000 each. How much is Androcles going to get out of this, given that he wasn't there for the initial?
Oh, right.
How are we going to do it, or are we just going to give him 1,000 and?
How much would he get? I forget how much we got paid for.
We got paid at 8,000 for this one.
1,000.
As you're working out, I'm just going to go check on something. 1 sec. It'll be 30 seconds.
I think wasn't that 8,000, but adding in like the 5 from the Venmar trip or something?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, so he'd get his fair share of whatever 3,000 divided by 4 is, so that's around.
$750.
Nice.
Okay, that's fine. So if you want to take the 750 out and give it to him,
Sure.
or should we just all take out 750 and then I'll go and put the 5 grand away?
Perfect. Let's do that.
That makes more sense, doesn't it? So, so just add that to my inventory.
Hello.
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 So, what have we decided?
Okay, so we're taking 750 out for everyone. We'll distribute that to everyone. And I'm going to ride off into the sunset with my my chest of 5k.
All right, cool.
And who knows if I'll be back? No, I'll go and bury it.
All right, so we'll stay with you for a minute.
Okay.
As everyone else is quite busy doing things. So if you can get the map of the Lethane Valley up, that'd be great. Actually, no, you don't need it, but it'll be handy to see where you are. So, you make your way into the Grailwood, and the Grailwood is as you know, this is the first place you went to with your current crew when you came back to the Lethane Valley. And it takes you quite a while. Do you want to do a perception check for me? Just a one check, just to see if you find your way quickly or not. You're not in any particular rush.
Let's have a look. Perception. +3.
Yeah, so you actually find your way, reasonably. It takes a couple of hours until you find your way to the secluded hut in the middle of the Grailwood. It is overgrown right now, and so and a few trees have actually fallen in heavy winds, unfortunately. And you can't actually find the spot where you buried it last time, where you buried all the stuff last time. So roll a perception check for me, because obviously you're trying to find it. So roll another one. Okay, so that's cool. You start digging, and you're fairly sure this is where it was. So you start digging away, and you don't actually hit anything. You're just like, what is this? And as you're digging down and down and down, you you slam the spade down. You go, where the... And so you get up, and you're face to face with a headstone. And it's Elvish, but you can tell it's a female name. And as you think to yourself, oh, this must be the grave of Arden's mother, unfortunately. But there's no body down here.
Okay.
It's just empty. There's nothing here.
Well, realizing it's a grave, and we definitely didn't put the money in there, I think I would refill the grave.
Yeah, you're about like 9 foot down at this stage, and there was nothing in there. It was just completely empty.
So yeah, I'd get out the hole. I would fill it back in. Make a mental note that her mother's corpse isn't there.
Yeah.
And I guess I would look for some kind of landscape marker or something where I could safely bury this 5k, and then go back and inform Arden, and maybe she could help me find the original stash.
Roll another perception check for me. Okay, and one more. Okay, so you find the original one under a bushel of twigs that were placed over it. So you're sweeping around trying to jog your memory, and finally you find fresh earth. And as you dig down into that, you strike a chest. So you now know where it all is. So you go, okay, you can add it all together if you wish.
Given that Arden told me I should split it up, I'm going to leave that there, recover it, and put this under a nearby tree, the other 5k.
Cool. So yeah, you do that.
And cover it up again, obviously, so it's not easily visible.
Nice. The whole thing takes about 6 hours. As you've gone, the whole trip basically takes about 6 hours.
All right.
And in the end, you got 4 sacks of money attached to your horse. And you're going to leave the wagon there. You're going to take it back with you.
Well, I'll take it back with me.
Cool. So you're coming back into the village. So let's cut back to the tavern. Okay. So the men have now disengaged, and Androcles has let them go home because we're getting toward the evening now. So, what are you guys doing? So we have Lochnia, Flissy, and a lot of men, just playing cards. Arden, are you there with them?
I'll kind of... No, I'm not playing cards. I would have come in with Androcles after giving him his money.
Okay. So, Androcles and Arden come in. Androcles, as you step into the tavern, you're waved over by the barkeep. He's like, oh, you! Here. If you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I muted it because I was talking to Natalie. I'm heading over reluctantly.
Okay, cool. So you head over there. He takes the look of you, and he's like, yeah, I think you're the one. Like, you're Agnar, right?
He's just gonna kind of put a hand on his axe and look at him like, "Who told you that?"
He's like, there's a man here looking for you. He told me, give me your description. Said you Agnar, and he was waiting for you in room 3.
I'm gonna lean in close to the innkeeper and say, "Never say that name again." And then walk off immediately.
Okay. Arden, you've seen this. Are you perplexed, or you?
She definitely is already a little suspicious of Androcles because he's so standoffish, so she just would be a little kind of just following him with her eyes, but not physically following him.
Okay. So what are you going to do? Because you see it in the tavern. You do see that there is a large table put together with a card game going on with Lochnia and Flissy and a lot of men around there.
Yeah. As I watch Androcles go upstairs, I'll walk over to Lochnia. I'll hand him his money and just say, so he's a bit different, isn't he?
So are you talking to me then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. So the dog has to take a bio break. Yeah, Yeah, he's. I don't trust him.
I'm not so sure I do either, just with how distant he's been the short time that we've known him.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean he's a good fighter and everything, and he's doesn't seem particularly duplicitous, but there's definitely something going on there.
I don't know.
Hmm.
You, I get what you're about. Nameless, I get what he is about, even though I might not agree with some of his behaviors. But Androcles, I can't get a read.
Likewise, there's definitely something here there's other reasons he's with it.
Yeah.
Felicity leans over and says, "So do you want me to deal you in, or?"
Why not?
Oh, she slaps another 10 copper pieces down. She goes, "I'm raising," and then and then Bjorn goes, "You can't raise before you deal the cards, you fucking dope." And then she's like, "All right, yeah." And so she starts like dealing the cards out, and he shakes his head and looks at you, Lockney, like, "What the fuck?"
Shrug and carry on.
You carry on drinking.
Yeah.
So, you guys start regaling war stories, and we'll head back to Androcles now. So, Androcles,
I just need to go and log out. So, yeah.
sure, man. Yeah, all good. I didn't know you had a dog. So, Androcles, are you going straight to room 3?
Yes, and as I open the door, I will have the frost axe in my hand.
Cool. Are you knocking on the door, or are you just opening it?
I'm just opening it.
Okay.
Like I'm actually like I'm not gonna break it open, but I'm just gonna if it's got a latch, I'll turn the handle and then kick it so it's
Yeah.
opens quickly and I'm not
So
having to open it.
you see a room in darkness, and there is a window on one side that is opening out into the night, or the growing night. And there is a man sitting at a bedside table with his feet crisscrossed on the table. And he's sitting on a chair, and he's got a knife out, and he's just like picking stuff out of his nails with the knife. You see, he is a Falkir. He looks quite wiry, but he also looks pretty strong. He has a sword at his hip. Okay, he has 2 swords. There's one on each side of his hips, and the scabbards of which are scraping along the floor. And around his eyes, he actually has the Nordic almost like eyeshadow. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he has that, but it's like covering his eyes and it's spreading out almost over his face like tendrils. He could be quite a good-looking man, but he's obviously he's seen quite a bit. He's got a few scars on his face, and he has about 2 sides of his head are shaved, and down the top of it is dreadlocks running back. Well, not dreadlocks, but like matted hair running back. And he says, he doesn't even look up. He says, "Close the door, please," in like perfect Achaean, not runic, not Falkir. It's heavily accented, but it's in Achaean.
Do I recognize him?
No.
I'll step in and I'll close and sweep the room and make sure there's no one else in there. Just look around and close the door behind me, but I'm not letting go of my one axe.
He says, "I have some ale. Would you like a drink?"
Androcles is just staring at him.
He just sighs and he goes, "My name's Faldir, and I'm not here to hurt you unless you try to hurt me. Yeah, why don't you put the weapon down? There's no need for unpleasantness."
Androcles isn't going to respond to that.
Okay.
He's just waiting.
So he like sits back and says, "All right. There's a great moot coming in Baldur's Bay, one of the northern islands. You should come. Your family will be there."
I have no family.
Like he tips his head and says, "The Reaver King begs to differ." and he just like, but he almost like purses his bottom lip and just shrugs and goes, "But no matter. I've delivered my message to you, and I guess I'll go." And he stands up and makes to leave, and he says, "By the way, why Androcles? What's wrong with Agnar?"
As he says Androcles is going to spit on the ground and just say, "I'm not one of you. I don't need your names."
He leans in quite close and says, "But you are one of us, boy. You'll always be one of us. Do you think the Achaeans are welcoming you home with open arms?" He says, "They don't send anyone to meet you in the dead of night." He says, "Look, we're the same, you and I."
Androcles just gives him like, you know, like puts his hand on his other hand on this other axe and just kind of looks at them. "I'm nothing like any of you."
He says, "Don't be so sure." And he reaches up, which puts you on edge. But he just unbuttons the top of his shirt and shows you like the center of his chest. And you see the exact same mark that has been burned into your chest there. The screaming crow. The screaming raven, sorry. Oh, sorry, yeah, the crow. With tentacles coming out of its mouth. He says, "See? We all serve the same person."
Androcles is gonna, actually, like, he needs to take a second to deal with that, and he's gonna kind of turn around and step away. Just like, "I don't serve anyone, and I never will again."
He says, "Are you leaving the room?"
No, he's kind of like, the guy was heading towards the door, right?
Yeah, he
Androcles
was.
has kind of had to step away a little bit to
Okay.
get kind of, so he's not between him and the door anymore.
He walks to the doorway and turns to look at you and says, "We'll be seeing you at the Great Moot, hopefully. Your family will be waiting there. If you want a reckoning, you know where to find us. But at least we come and find you, unlike some others." And he pulls the hood up over his face and walks out and walks out of the inn.
Androcles is gonna have to kind of get his bearings together before he is able to head back downstairs, so he doesn't, smash anything. So he's just gonna be in there for a minute, kind of gathering his thoughts.
Cool. So, let's go back to the inn where the card game is going on. So everyone roll a d20, please. Is anyone trying to cheat?
No, this is a friendly game, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's roll. I'll roll for the men and I'll roll for Flissy as well. D20. The men aren't doing very well. What's Flissy doing?
Ooh.
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 Okay.
It's an intense game, aside from the people that Androcles isn't beating up all day.
yeah. So, yeah, this is a three-way split at the moment. So, cool. Let's roll again. All right. So Flissy is out, and Lochnia. So okay. So for the night's gambling has proceeded, and Lochnia, you're up 150. So add 150 to your Virgil stat. You're pretty happy with that. Arden, you are up 350.
Woohoo!
So you're doing really well. And the men are all pretty grumbling because they've lost a bit of money. They're all like, and Flissy's like, "Told you, don't gamble with your commanders. It doesn't work. No, they pull rank." And she says, "Speaking of pulling rank," and she looks at you, Lochnia, and says, and like eyes towards, fucking off for a bit.
I think she needs to polish her sword.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just a yeah. So they make a sharp exit. They may be back, but
Exit stage.
yeah, nameless. Lochnia and Arden. Lochnia, Arden, you're basically playing cards, and Lochnia and Flissy get to the top of the stairs. Only 3 or 4 stairs to where the rooms are, and you see Androcles step out of a room looking ashen-faced and crestfallen, pretty much.
He'll just kind of acknowledge them, and then he's gonna head back outside and get some air.
Cool. And Felicity says, looks at Lochner and goes, "What was that all about?"
If I knew, I'd tell you. Something fishy with him.
We need to either find out what it is or solve this more permanently. This is going to get worse.
I concur.
And she walks into the room, and we can fade to black on that one. We can just let that go. So
I think you and John should act it out. Bit by
Yeah.
how do you know we don't already?
Lots of D20 rolling.
How would you know we don't already?
I don't, because I'm over here.
It's at the end of the session every time. They're like, "All right, we've had sex this many times, so let's get rolling. See what it is."
It's like that Big Bang thing with Sheldon and Amy,
yeah.
where they're rolling a D20 in his bedroom.
Yeah. So, Angeles, are you going up the front way or the back way?
What the night before when he just kind of ended up sleeping on a bench.
That was the back way. Yeah.
He'd go out the back and just kind of go back to his usual bench.
Are you going to start sharpening the old axe?
Yeah, it's just he does it to help kind of like get his thoughts straight.
Cool. That's fine. That's fine. So, we will go with So at the doorway, Nameless appears, and he is now there.
And covered in dirt.
Yep.
Yeah. Taking a little bit longer than I expected, having dug 3.
I'll wave him over to the game.
And I'll beckon her to one side.
Confused, I'll get up from the table and go over. So, everything go okay? Did you find it okay?
Well, initially I couldn't find the original stash, but I did find it, and I also buried this nearby the 5k. However, I may accidentally have dug into your mother's grave.
Arden's mouth would just drop open.
Yeah. Sorry about that. There was something not quite right about it. Was your mother invisible?
She just is gonna be like, I'm sorry, I don't. What? What?
So I kind of dug like
Hold up.
9 feet down, and didn't encounter anything at all, including your mother's corpse. So I wondered, is she invisible?
Arden would not know what to say to this, and she would just turn and she's gonna walk straight out back. She just is like, I need a minute.
Are you going out the back?
She walks out the back.
We're recruiting.
Yeah.
We're recruiting cast members up there. I don't know what's going on.
It's the brooding.
Yeah, well,
it's the brooding garden, guys. It's the brooding
She
garden.
doesn't realize that Androcles is back there.
It's where the emos write their songs.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna shrug, and I'm gonna take her place at the card game.
Okay, cool.
You kept friends for more than about 5 minutes. You're
So,
I mean, how long have your characters actually known each other, and you've already desecrated her mother's grave? I think that's at least a third date kind of thing.
It was an accident.
all right, cool. So, Shan comes into the inn. So we're now at like 8 p.m. Shan comes into the inn, the captain of the guard. And she comes to the table where you're all playing cards and says, I think you guys better come outside. There's somebody at the gates. Oh, it's just you. And she looks at you and as nameless, because you're the only one there.
Is it a dead elven woman?
She says, what?
Never mind. I'll follow up.
Okay. So, are you going to get anyone else, or are you just going to go jump outside?
Well, I don't think Lochner is up for being disturbed.
Okay.
Never when you mid-sheath his sword.
Mm-hmm.
but I guess I'll go grab Arden, and I'm guessing I would see Androcles out there as well. So,
Cool.
So when Nameless turns up, I'm just go, what the fuck do you want?
there might be a dead
Did
elven
you
woman at the
bury up
gate.
my dad this time? Did you dig up my dad too? Anyone else childhood pets?
Not this time, but I could like try and find our stash again.
Edricles is like looking around, like he's just kind of zoning out, and then he's like talking about digging up dead people. He's like, wait, what? He just kind of looks at the two of you like, what you said? What? I apparently missed something big.
I mean, apparently I missed something big too, but Flister on the other hand, Flissy on the other hand, definitely didn't miss something big.
Hey, dick jokes.
Does Arden actually go, hey?
With the fond's fingers.
This is the whole fucking fun thing.
Okay, so I think we should go to the gate. Apparently, there was maybe a dead elven woman outside.
Arden is just like fed up, and she's actually just gonna go upstairs into the inn.
Okay.
She's gonna go, yeah.
So
Androcles is gonna
She
shrug
doesn't
and
understand. She needs like a minute to comprehend, and she just can't deal with Nameless right now.
are you guys gonna try and wake up Locknear, or are you gonna?
Oh hell no!
I think he's already awake.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like trying.
We can hear the jackhammering from outside.
Androcles is just gonna shrug, and I guess we'll head to the gate if you know.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So, I will bring Locknear in a dramatically appropriate moment then. Alright, so you guys head outside, and there's a lot of people hanging around by the gates. And they're all like muttering to each other. And Shen just says, you might want to get up on the parapet there. You'll be able to see from up there. She walks up there and climbs on top.
Isn't that what
follow.
Flissy's doing? Yes, so I'll follow her up to the ramparts.
Cool. And Arden and Androcles, are you doing that as well?
Oh no, I'm still at the tavern.
Okay, so Androcles, are you doing that as well?
Yeah.
Cool. So, outside, you see the same man from earlier, standing with his hands clasped behind his back, with around 300 Falkyr behind him, in a big square, and he just says, I'm trying to be merciful here. I've already demanded it once. Open your gates, march out here, and accept irons. You'll be brought onto our ships and taken back to the Reaver King to serve him and us. You will live. Keep resisting, and you'll simply be another footnote on our way to Lothane itself.
I think I would just say, how's the arrow wound in your back?
He just says he takes out, he's got a Gladys in his hand and he points up at you and says, you were there earlier today.
Yep.
He said,
Androcles is gonna pipe up.
Some of your men on my spear.
Androcles is gonna pipe up, and it's like, didn't you leave a few of your men in the gorge? Sure you brought enough this time.
He just shakes his head and says, you have until morning, and spits on the floor and sheathes his gladius again and starts walking back. To which point behind you, you hear a large, very loud argument between Shen and Hursk. And Hursk is demanding that the gates be opened. He's saying, are you insane? This is over. We need to open the gates now. And Shen is having none of it. She's like, what are you saying? What did all these people die for today? So we could open the gates and all this go into slavery? And he's like, well, there's no way we can beat them.
Androcles is going to come up to them and it's like, you want none of the Reaver King's mercy. Better to die.
He looks at you and says, what do you know about a decay? And just, you've been paid. Leave.
Androcles is going to shake his head and walk away.
And he says, "We're opening the gates," and he walks over and starts ordering people to open the gates.
And I'll walk over and stop him immediately.
Okay. So
Androcles would back Nameless's play.
okay. So things are becoming a lot more heated here. So Hursk is saying, he's looking up at you, Nameless, and says, "Look, think about this. There are at least 70 men in here. You have 30 under your command. Just think about it. You can leave now, take your 30 men. It's a lot more than what you walked in with. You can start your own mercenary company with the money I've given you. Step aside, and let me save these people."
Not a chance.
Okay. He says, "Is that your final decision?" And he looks around. His men are already like getting the weapons out.
I mean, 100%. And yeah, there's just no way I'm backing down to a guy that I don't trust anyway, who effectively is wanting to let enemies through the gates.
Cool. So he sighs and says, "Okay. I'm gonna just pull you over to a different map. 1 second. 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves." Doo-ba-doo. Right. So. There we go. Tip-a-too, tip-a-tip-too. Tip-a-tip-tip-tip-too. There it is. I knew I had it somewhere. Sorry, I had a really good image for this before, and I was like, yeah, that's the one I want. And I thought I'd lost it. But I haven't. There we are. There. Right, so at that, he steps backwards a few steps, and waves a hand signal. Okay, and several men step out of several houses around you, and they're all Falkyr, and they're all heavy brutes. These are big men, and a lot of the
Immediately draw my axes.
A lot of the guards are also there as well, and they also draw their weapons. And he says, take all of them, and he says including the guard captain, and she obviously gets her sword out as well, and is ready to fight. So let's roll initiative, and what I want you to do is, whoops. What I want you to do is, I'm going to drag you over to the map, and I would like you to draw yourselves at the northern gate over here.
Is there any way that we can maybe persuade them not to fight for Hursk, given that he's an utter tool?
Again, very good idea, because a lot of these men have fought with you before. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw them all out, just so you can, for dramatic effect, you can see where people are. So,
I've put myself in there.
Cool.
Green spot.
So we have all of the guardsmen. I'm not going to do all 30 of them because we'll be here all night. So.
Can't you do like a copy paste thing or no?
No, I mean you'll be fighting them all night.
Oh.
I can work with that.
Yeah. And the Falkyr have stepped out of these houses. Alright. And the actual mayor is here. Cool. So, you would like to convince them to fight on your side. What are you going to say to them?
I'm just going to point out that the mayor is a coward. He's been less than trustworthy. He has failed to pay anyone on time, including the captain, until threatened with death. And yeah, he was going to effectively get them all killed by letting in a load of enemies to slaughter them.
Yeah. Androcles is going to say, just look directly at the mayor and say, "So you've sold your people to the Reaver King," and just while aiming an axe at him.
He shrugs and says, "They were never my people. So I'm Falkyr to the bone. As are you, Agnar." And smiles.
Oh, Androcles is not happy with that. He's going to try to kill him.
Okay, cool. Are you standing nearby? Oh, yeah, you are standing nearby. Okay, fair enough. Roll a speed check for me. Cool. Not quite fast enough. So you go to try and jump at him, and a few of the Falkyr instead charge into you. And everyone must roll initiative. I'm going to roll a nameless. Roll your special check, please. We're going to do 5 checks. It's your special might plus attractiveness check. See if you can.
The special leadership roll.
Special leadership roll. We'll do 5 of them.
So you're rolling leadership.
1.
1, yeah. 2.
3. 4.
Ooh.
5.
Okay. That's almost.
Like the Braveheart speech, except at the end of it, and says, "So that's all, guys."
Roll 1 more, please, but have a plus 10 to it. After all that.
What, plus 10 including the 6?
Including the 6, yeah.
So don't roll a 1.
Okay. Okay. So we're not going to do the speech. You've already done the speech, but this is how much effect it's having. All of them nod, and they rush the Falkyr. They're just rushing the Falkyr straight away. Let's do a battle round, shall we? So, let's roll initiative. So
I rolled already. I rolled a 14.
14. So
Not a great roll,
the
but-
mayor doesn't roll very well. Not that he needs to. And the Falkyr also don't roll very well. They probably needed to.
Give me a second. Just remembering my stats. Oh. There we go.
Okay. So probably Nameless going first.
Shocker.
Probably just a little bit.
What would you like to do?
Well, I guess I'll run at the. Do I?
The mayor is
spear
right
the
next
mayor?
to you.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. He does kind of deserve it, but maybe I'll just knock him out.
I mean, Androcles is practically frothing at the mouth to kill the mayor after what he said.
But that said, I kind of want to know what he was talking about.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to position myself right here with my free move.
Mhm.
So there's no way you're getting to the mayor. And I'm going to smack the guy next to me with my spear.
That's fine.
Your token's gone on an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've moved again.
I'll drag him back around here. Hang on.
Thanks.
There you go. Alright, that's a solid hit. Cool. Cool. You get another attack there. Okay, yeah, he's dead. So you go there, you stab him, and then you swipe your sword out and like take his throat out. And he's on the floor. You put your sword away, get your shield out, you're ready to go.
Let's do it.
Who's next?
I think it's me then, yeah.
Yeah, it is you.
So I've noticed what Nameless is doing is not, subtle, I imagine. So he's just gonna frustrate, like, kind of do a frustrated shout, and then just turn on the 2 Falkyr that have kind of rushed towards him. And I'm just going to smack.
Jesus.
And slash.
He is dead. I'm not even gonna go anywhere. He is. They're both dead. So you sweep sideways with both axes, and just take one out, and then he spins, and then you angle it upwards, and you take the jawbone out of the other one. Who's next to you? The mayor's now shouting for everyone. Why are you fighting for these? You don't know. I've safeguarded you for years. And he's shouting over his. Arden, you hear this commotion, that battle going on. What would you like to do?
I would grab my bow, sword, dagger, everything, and run out.
Okay,
just
cool.
all in your hands, just kind of a big bundle. I'm just kidding.
Cool. Excellent. So you run out, and when you get out, you realise there's a battle going on. Do a perception check for me? See what you recognise what's going on. You do recognise what's going on. I'm trying to see what details you see. Okay, cool. So you see that you quickly take in the ins and outs of the situation, what's gone on, and that most of the men who are fighting with you are now fighting with you against Falkia, who are somehow in the walls, and you see that Nameless has his back, and him and Androcles are arguing over something, whilst the mirror is standing behind Nameless, and he gets a dagger out and approaches Nameless from behind.
Am I like at a high vantage point?
Yes, you're on the steps you're on the steps of number 7, which is the tavern.
Oh, okay, great. In that case, I will shoot and try to shoot the mayor.
Okay. You get 2.
And no one's seen me, right?
No one's seen you.
So technically, it's a sneak attack.
Yep.
Oh damn!
God, don't kill him.
And I get +4 superficial for a ranged attack and +4 superficial for super attack.
He's so dead.
Cool. Roll another one.
Super dead.
Roll another one. Here's a roll the
so
other one.
just so you know, that's 13 aggravated damage and 8 superficial.
Okay, so roll the other one just in case. Okay, what do you want to do? You rolled well enough that you can control what's going on. Are you trying to kill him? Or are you trying to hobble him?
I shoot him in the thigh.
In the thigh.
Nice.
It drops him. It basically breaks his leg. Like the first arrow just breaks his leg completely. And the last of the Falkia, they're being beaten up by your men who are in the town, and there's a lot of noise. And behind you, you hear heavy footsteps, and you see Lochner appear, naked as the day he was born, with his basically his
with the sword in hand.
With his sword just like leaning on his shoulder, and like Fliss is there, like trying to pull on her garments, like her armor really quickly, and she's like hopping as she's trying to get one boot on as she takes her sword out.
I'll peg it down the stairs and just go wailing in. First guy that looks like he's an enemy.
Yeah, this guy here. This guy here. He's right next to you.
Possibly, I haven't seen the ping yet, but yes.
Yes.
The ping hasn't appeared.
Yeah, that'll do. The guy next to the one that says number 7, the building there.
The ping will appear by the time we finish the game.
Yeah. So go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. Don't need to roll initiative because he's caught unawares. So go ahead and roll your 2 attacks.
Number 1.
Yep.
17.
And yeah, so he is dead. So you go cleaving in with your sword, and you basically just run him through as he's trying to fight, and he just stumps down. And as you pull the blade out, the blood just goes all over you. And Flissy just looks at you and goes, and just as she goes in, she realizes there's no one there to fight. As she finally gets her sword out and goes, oh, and then looks over at you and goes, you're covered in blood and the fucking naked. He goes, that's pretty hot.
You got head right back into the end.
Yeah.
The end of combat for them.
Yeah. So
come out, dude. Come back in, sticker.
So these 2 Falkia are also pulled apart. These 2 guys are just dead. They're just like mauled by your men, who have got into a shield wall, just like you taught them, Androcles. Because as you and Nameless are having an argument, you notice that they're all conforming to the very tactics you were just teaching them. So it makes you both stop and look on and go, oh, okay.
And then back to arguing.
Yeah. And the mayor is now whimpering on the floor. The battle is over. What would you guys like to do? All of you, not just Nameless and Androcles.
Oh, I'm gonna run over to the mayor and very not gently rip my arrow out of his thigh.
He's like, oh! And just sort of nearly passes out. Shen comes over and says, thanks, I was hoping it wouldn't come to that. And she gives a few orders, says, you two, bar the gate, and they don't move. And
Androcles is just gonna look at the 2 people she told. She's telling us, the 2 people she told to do that, and just look at them until they do it.
Okay, then they go and do it, and she's like, she shrugs and goes, "Guess they're your men now." And then she turns around and And she turns over to the mayor and says, "So why didn't you just stick with us? Like, you've been here for years." And he just sort of mumbles something and then just like passes out. And she just shrugs and goes, "We can use one of the rooms in the inn. We can lock him in. That's all right with you."
And Androcles is going to put his axes away so Nameless doesn't, get in between him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to pull open the front of the mayor's shirt just to check.
Yeah, it's there.
And he's going to spit at him and then walk away.
Arden would be. This is the first time that she would be seeing anything like that. It's like basically branded into him, right?
You can't see it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was right next to him.
Yeah, you can't see it. You are right next to him. It just looks like normal skin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Nameless, you got no idea why he did that either. You just
a pervert.
Maybe.
I just like stripping people and spitting on them. What do you know? It's just a thing. Don't judge me.
It's fine. Whatever you want. It's no problem.
So
I guess we'll leave Shen to take the mayor to the inn. So the captain of the band that were outside, has he fucked off at this point?
He's fucked off. Yeah.
So he's coming back.
Now that he's realised that the attempt on the gate has failed, then he's backed off. You know he'll be back. He's planning a siege. He's not going to let this go without answering.
Cool. In which case, I guess we just post guards and at each tower and
bar the gates.
Try and get
reinforce the gates.
Rest. Yeah.
And also just to Shen that they destroy that bridge.
We can't get to the bridge right now, right?
They're already across the bridge because they're out of town.
No, I mean so they can't get back across it.
They're on our side of the bridge.
If you think you can, yeah.
Sorry, I thought the bridge was right before the gates.
So that's all we'll leave it for now. Is that you guys are currently marshalling this town together in the inn. So a lot of conflict has happened this session. So have a think about character stories moving forwards, about what you want to do and how you want to do it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say, to be honest with you. So hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you do all that stuff. Obviously, it'd be great if you had those stories for next time, because that means I can start melding them in. A few people did it for this session, so that was cool. And obviously, the quicker you get those done, the quicker you get your 5 character core attribute points, and the quicker you do that, the quicker you get another action in combat. So yeah, and they only get better from there. There's some really good rewards as you go on.
Cool.
Sounds good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Alrighty. I'll speak to you a bit later on.
Awesome.
Saturday, same sort of time.
Same sort of time. Yeah, I would say Saturday, same sort of time. We'll go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I will catch you later then.
Right, speak to you later. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
So, apologies that I didn't have the Roll20 up there. Sometimes I just lose not lose concentration, but I'm so focused on doing one bit of the story that it doesn't compute sometimes. So sorry about that. I'll try to not let it happen again. But yeah, things are really heating up. So yeah, I'll speak to you next time.